Hey, good morning, Capricorn. My name is Anne, and welcome to this Old Goat Tarot. Today's reading is for the career and finance, or career and money, for the upcoming week. Today it is May 16th, 2025. This is for the next 7 days. And today's numerological number boils down to the number 3. So in my decks, I have already meditated on the cards, and I have shuffle them each 3 times. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll open with a Mind Info Oracle card, and then we'll get into the Tarot. Thanks for being here. All right. You did pull this card saying focus. You're being asked to shift your focus away from what isn't working and towards what is. Paying extra attention to where you place your focus is the first step towards creating an amazing life. So let's take a few minutes to reflect on the signs, symbols of the card itself. Capricorn, is there something in your job, career, you need to focus on? Is there something that you're giving a little extra attention to right now? Or Spirit is asking you to pay a little bit closer attention to something? This focus card is important because oftentimes, I'll call it walking through life asleep, if you will. Walking through our day-to-day, getting so immersed in the routine of getting up, taking a shower, getting our clothes on, getting our kids ready for school, I don't know, getting gas, getting in the car, sitting down to the computer for the first time in the morning, with having that first sip of coffee. And I think that oftentimes we can let our day and our calendar rule us, as opposed to allowing us to really take ownership over that and allow us to create and to be more of taking more ownership over our calendar, allowing us to create the time and space to allow this focus to happen. So observe the time in your life in which, we're so caught up in quote unquote productivity, especially when it comes to career, especially Capricorns. That can oftentimes become a blocker very easily for our own spiritual development, or perhaps even for inviting more abundance into our lives, because there's just no time, there's no pause, there's no opportunity for a reset, for us to focus on something that will give us an opportunity to see something in a new light. So let's see what the Tarot has to offer us this morning. I'm going to do a recent, past, current energy, and potential outcomes. You pulled the 10 of Wands in reverse and recent. The 3 of Wands in current energy. There's 21, the World card, which is amazing. Boils down to the number 3 as well in future outcome. Bottom of the deck, we have the 8 of Pentacles. So, I really love the imagery of this deck. So let's talk about the 8 of Pentacles for a bit. In the traditional Tarot, it's this guy, he's sort of sitting with his pentacles, and pentacles are the material side of life, money, assets, our career, our ambitions. And he's sort of like hammering away at the next pentacle. As you can see here, she's sitting at this desk here, and she's got, a candle in one hand. It's very clear that she's likely some sort of career professional. It's about mastering our craft, right? It's about really sitting down, and I think that there is a little synchronicity here with this concept of focus, okay? So ultimately, what is it that we're currently being called to do? What is it that we have some sort of passion towards an idea, a thought, a spark, some sort of inspiration. If you're not already, please start writing down your dreams when you get up in the morning. Uh, Even on a car ride on the commute in from work, maybe you had an idea on how to approach a situation differently. Whatever that is, one thing is to have the thought and to allow those downloads to come through and to just be in the flow, if you will, of receiving divine intelligence. The other thing is to take actual inspired action. And so being able to focus on what those messages are, but then also to just sit down and really take it to heart. You know, it's not your imagination. These things, it's so oftentimes easy to almost gaslight ourselves. Oh, it's just this. It's you know, this is just an idea, or this is just pie in the sky. It's just a dream. It's just a thought. But those thoughts never actually manifest themselves unless we actually focus on tangible next steps in order to move forward. So whatever that is, whatever those stepping stones that you're being called to do, actually move forward, okay? And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to continue here to bring this into fruition, and you're going to get to that Nine of Pentacles, okay? The next level up is sort of this woman who's like relishing in her garden. She has everything, and she's integrating all the lessons learned from all of these pentacles. Pentacles do represent the earth sign in the tarot, which Capricorn is an earth sign as well. And by the way, this reading is for all placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I definitely encourage you to look. Welcome, cross watchers. If what you're hearing is resonating, I would be honored if you were to hit that like and subscribe button. And take what does and leave the rest. But really what I'm hearing here from Spirit is today there's something saying that, hey, you have some sort of passion. You've been able to sort of begin to ideate on it. Now it's time to take the action and to focus and to really commit to it. Be all in on the next step. You don't have to necessarily plan out and be strategic around everything that's going to get you to the end. Don't roadmap your way to it, okay? As Spirit is saying, take the next step, okay? Allow yourself to indulge in that focus time. All right, so we have in recent past here this Ten of Wands in reverse. And I really like this for you. This actually rings true a little bit around what you're being asked to do in today's reading. So in the upright position, this is, it represents some sort of labor, something that caused you a lot of struggle, if you will. You know, she's coming down the mountain. She has all of these wands. This poor animal next to her. I'm not quite sure. It doesn't look like a donkey, but whatever that animal is, life is a struggle. It's definitely not easy. Okay, but this is in reverse. So whatever it was in your recent past, it doesn't seem like it may have been associated with your job or with your career or with some sort of entrepreneurial passion. But it wasn't, even though it was productive work in terms of producing some sort of outcome or leading to an outcome, it didn't feel like work. It looks like it was a passion. It doesn't look like it was a struggle. It looked almost like one of those things in which you do and you kind of get lost in it because you enjoy it so much, where you don't even know that the time is passing. Let's get to some additional guidance here. Let's get some clarifiers. Why is the Ten of Wands in reverse in recent past? We have the Five of Swords in the upright, which just kind of flipped out as I was going through here. What else? Why is the Ten of Wands in reverse? Any additional messages in recent past? Nope. Okay. So we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. Okay. Bottom of the deck. We had the Five of Swords flip out, and then who else is under here? We have the Seven of Swords in reverse. Okay. So a little bit of a mixed, I think this is almost a little bit of uncharted territory for us. And this is, anytime that you're in something that feels a little uncomfortable, it can feel like growth. It's actually growth, if you will. Something that is being asked for us to step outside of our comfort zone. We're used to climbing the mountain or coming down the mountain or going sideways around the mountain. Whatever it is, we're used to this give and take of, Saturn's influence, our ruler, around you do a bunch of hard work and you get a reward, right? That's the way life is, or that's what we've resigned ourselves to accept in life, okay? But this is in reverse. So whatever it is was work that producing a valuable outcome still, but it's not something that actually feels like work. And so I got this Five of Swords here, which I think that whatever it is that you're focusing on, maybe in the job, maybe at home, perhaps it's a hobby, it's a side quest, whatever that is, it's may be rubbing other people the wrong way a little bit because we're putting ourselves first, okay? And that can be a little disruptive. It can feel uncomfortable. People around us might not necessarily acclimate to the new you. And even though we might be feeling it, whatever passion it is, whatever downloads that we're seeing, that we're getting excited about, whatever that is, it's easy to be influenced by others. It's easy to put down the swords and, go into like almost people-pleasing mode, because it's kind of hard to kind of go off on your own and create a new paradigm with those around us where all of a sudden we are pursuing our happiness. They're seeing this new side of us. They're also seeing that we're falling into a sense of abundance, and yet they're sort of out in the cold. Okay. Or we have a fear that they'll be out in the cold. Maybe it's in our head. But the Seven of Swords here in reverse is telling me that this isn't about us going off and leaving people behind, okay? This is not telling me that that's what this is about. And it feels like it's in our head. It feels like we're allowing ourselves to maybe second guess around whatever this is. Like, oh, this felt really good. This was productive. Like, I could see myself doing this for a lifetime. I don't know, maybe you made a cake and you got so into the process. You were, it was somebody's birthday and you decorated this beautiful cake and you realized that you kind of had a passion for it. You were kind of good at it, and turns out you might actually have some skills here that you didn't realize that you actually had, and you want to like dig in more, and you could actually see yourself doing this for a living. Whatever that is, it was a lot of work, but you really enjoyed it. You didn't notice the time going by, right? And here you are, in which other people are kind of like, wait a minute, like, what is she doing? Like, she's doing all this work. It's not, and maybe their definition of abundance, ours is evolving and theirs is not. So abundance can be, again, money, it could be material possessions, etc., or the paycheck. Okay, but abundance can be found in other things. It can be found in the actual experience, and that impact on those around us, our family, our friends, because it does have an impact. It might rub them the wrong way, and there might be some doubts there. Okay, because we're going off and we're doing, you do you, boo. And what this is telling me is that we're not being selfish. Don't second guess. This is a message. Don't second guess yourself. This is something that you are meant to be doing. Keep in mind that you need to have faith in your soul. Okay, your soul planned every last thing from your entrance to your exit before you got here. It was all your choice. And we need to take comfort and trust that if we do our highest potential, our highest, whatever passion it is that we have, the synchronicity, if we are all in and we truly believe it, what this is saying is it's not selfish. What we're actually doing is we're serving our highest purpose. We're serving Source. Source wants us to be happy. And it doesn't necessarily mean a mansion with a big seven-figure check. It could just simply be the fact that you are doing something that you love, and therefore it has a ripple effect because you're more present at dinner with your family, because you can actually have a conversation, because you're not sitting on your phone exhausted and just overstimulated because work really just drained every last drop of thought out of you, that you just don't want to engage with others. That is another form of abundance. And I think that we have progressed here. We have adopted this new mindset. But those around us don't see it that way. And that's making us nervous. And this is where the Ace of Wands is coming in reverse. It's like, what I'm sensing here is, not only is this outcome really good, but it's having a secondary, impact. And that impact is because it's ruffling some feathers here, we're starting to second guess, hey, am I on the right path? Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe this is selfish. And what this is saying is that this passion, we're starting to put out that flame. We're starting to think, oh, it's in my imagination. Maybe I should not take the next step. And that is the challenge that I think we're, especially Capricorns, that we're constantly faced with, is allowing ourselves to indulge in whatever it is that is those nudges, those downloads, whatever it is that we're being called to take the next step in, to allow ourselves this time to focus on those items that we're hearing, like, oh, this is a great idea. Well, let me take the next step. Let me see if there's any groups associated with this interest, this passion that I have locally. Reaching out to somebody to have coffee, to pick their brain about what is the day in life of someone who has this profession. What does it look like? What are the pros? What are the cons? Taking those next inspired actions. And I think what Spirit is saying here is that we're feeling pressure from those around us around this change. And again, we are in a 5-month, we have a 5 here. People are not necessarily comfortable with the change. They see it as being somewhat selfish here. But the 7 of Swords here is in reverse. It's telling me that we're not acting selfishly. Okay. We're not here to be sneaky. We're actually doing this because not only is it serving us, it's that concept of being in an airplane and, you have to put the face mask on for yourself before you can help other people. That's where we're at. And we recognize that. Whatever this was, is we recognize that this is really giving us new life. It's giving us new hope. It's giving us passion, commitment. And what this is saying is that we're not sitting here doing this, behind the scenes. We're being very open and honest. And if we allow this 5 of Swords here, this energy around other people, really feeding into their energy of being uncomfortable, what this is doing is that we're gonna like put out our own flame before it's even gotten into a bonfire. Okay. It was a lot. I think this is a lot of current energy. If what I'm saying here is resonating in any sort of way, it's likely this message is for, this reading is for you when it comes to career, purpose, money. There's this 3 of Wands here, and this is what we truly believe, is that this is, again, fire energy here. Today is a 3-day. There's a lot of synchronicity here too on this table I'm seeing, is that there's fire energy here, and there's a lot of 3. Today is a 3-day, like I mentioned before. We have fire here, and we also have the World card, which is the 21. It boils down to a 3. So let's see from the Rider-Waite, what else? Why is the 3 of Wands here in current energy as it's regards to our career, money, current focus? For the next week ahead. There was a card that actually flipped over. Let's see here. Oh, we have Temperance in reverse. I'll try it one more time here. What else? Why do we have the 3 of Wands here? Any other messages? I'll take 1 or 2 more. Nope. Okay. Bottom of the deck, we have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so I think there's a continuing theme here where we're almost operating at this new level, this new vibration. We're encouraged if you will. There's a spark, there's energy, there's a flame that has been started. We see that it has potential. We're excited. We see the potential of this, this vast ocean that has, no end in sight in front of us. And we have all of this fire here in front of us. We're ready to go after the next big thing, whatever this is. That's where we are, okay? But going back to where everybody else is, I think what's coming down to is we've got this Temperance in reverse. This tells me, and then we also have the Six of Pentacles, which was bottom of the deck, in reverse. It feels imbalanced right now. Again, it's this continued energy here of something is shaken up. There's been a fire that's been ignited in you, and other people feel, this is supposed to be reciprocity. It's supposed to be something going in your favor. It's something being brought back into balance, etc., etc. And I think what it comes down to is that people are used to a status quo from you, Capricorn. We're willing to give our all. It's very rare that we half-ass anything. Okay, we're all in. When we say something, we give our word. Maybe we can be a little too detailed sometimes, but we're not shy about what we can and cannot do. And if we commit to something, even if it takes us longer than our original commitment date, we're going to do it. Okay. And it wasn't being reciprocated. And now that we're no longer doing that, and we're sort of reorganizing our energy to focus on the things that fill us up. Okay. The things that, ignite this fire within us. What that's doing is that for those around us who are so used to having their cups filled by us, there's a gap there, okay? And it can be uncomfortable. And what it's saying here is that this balance that was here, it's no longer in balance. Maybe that means that you have been the head of the household, the main provider for your family. Okay, and you've done that, and you've carried this burden for a long time. Okay, you sacrificed yourself, and there's no in spirituality. There's no award for being a martyr. We're not here to be martyrs. Okay, we're here to learn and to grow of whatever we have decided as a soul, as our higher selves before incarnating here. And when we do so, we've planned out all of these things that we want to learn. Okay, and sometimes when we get too caught up in a sense of obligation to others, they become almost like codependent on that. Okay, it's no longer a reciprocal relationship. So and again, change can be all of what you make about it. The way that we have our perspective around it. It can be uncomfortable. All of a sudden, maybe you step away from a high-paying job to accept, a cut in pay because it's something that you truly enjoy. You're making this decision. You know in your heart it's the right move, but there's an impact there. And that impact means that, others who are used to having their cups filled, not having to worry about some of the things that we've been caring about and carrying on our shoulders for so long, and that it feels like it might have to do with money, what it means is they're going to have to carry the load. And the reality is that balance, that imbalance that has been so lopsided for so long, what that's doing is it's allowing us to sort of reset, okay? Putting us back on our soul's purpose, our soul's path. But then also, again, going back to perspective, yes, it can be hard, it can be challenging, it can force people outside of their comfort zone. But what that does is it allows them to grow and expand into things and to take on, maybe they haven't been the ones carrying the responsibility of most of the bills in the household. Maybe it's time for them, okay? We're not meant to do it all the time, okay? So again, Spirit is saying that just like over here, there's something here, there's change, there's some sort of kindling that's been ignited within us, and it's causing a lot of disruption in those within our household, around us, the people that depend on us. But Spirit is saying it's going to be okay. And that's where the world is. Okay, we're not to be living in fear. We're not to retreat and to allow this flame to be extinguished. We're asked to continue to focus on mastering our craft. Don't give up now. It's not the time to give up. Now we're just getting started. Don't quit before we've even got to halftime here. It's been the first 10 minutes of the game and we're enjoying ourselves. It was just the kickoff. Let's see. Why do we have the world here? Something is coming full circle. There's some sort of cycle that is coming to an end and a new beginning is occurring. And I think that new beginning is us, but it's also for those around us, and it's going to be okay. We have to trust. We have to trust the divine. We have to trust the universe. We have to trust source. Why is the world here in current outcome, or future outcome rather? Why is this in the potential? Like career and purpose, career and finance. Take one or two messages. Okay. Anything else? All right. Bottom of the deck. We have the Lovers in reverse. Okay. A little bit more synchronicity here. We have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. This is the Six of the Minor Arcana, or Major Arcana rather, and it is in reverse. Gemini energy. Whatever change this is, we are going to be moving into Gemini season relatively soon. What came out first though was the Ten of Swords in reverse. We also got the Four of Swords in the upright. Yeah, there's something that needs to come to an end. There's something that is a bright, beautiful future, and it holds a lot of potential. And we need to be okay. We need to accept. We need to allow that end to happen. Okay, we can't continue to sit and go in these old cycles over and over again. We need to allow this to come through. We need to allow ourselves to, we can't continue to put up and to carry all of these swords. We can't continue to, carry the burden of others. And it's saying that we're going to stop that. We're not going to get to our end here and be, allow ourselves to become downtrodden at the expense of ourselves for others all the time. We're not into martyrdom anymore. Spirit is saying that we need to take a time out and to rest. Put down that sword. Allow ourselves this moment. Allow ourselves to just bask in the sunshine of whatever it is. Don't allow the anxiety of others that may be around us, who might not be where we are in terms of our definitions of abundance and what abundance looks like. Don't allow them to sort of rain on our parade. Do not allow them to extinguish the flame within us. Okay. Continue to stay in this energy. Continue to focus on it. Continue to just in this sunshine, this feeling of being complete, of being whole again, of like who this new person is that we are becoming, that is emerging forth. We're doing it because we're continuing to stay in it, completely immersed in whatever it is that we are into right now. Continue to focus on it. Don't give up now. We're not, again, do not become a martyr. Don't continue to allow, the death will eventually come if we continue to carry the burden of everyone else upon our backs to the point where we're just only extending a pattern. And then there's going to be a tower moment, right? The universe is going to come in and maybe they're going to, our job will be eliminated, or perhaps the boss that we loved is no longer there, or, whatever it is that was working and it's very, very fragile right now. Whatever that is, if we don't end it ourselves, the universe will end it because we're not meant to stay there. It worked for some time. It had a purpose, but it's no longer serving our purpose. It's time to put the swords down. It's time to take the time out and to rest and to rejuvenate ourselves. this focus that we have of whatever this renewed passion is, it is providing this rest. It's providing this energy. And again, Spirit's saying that those around us, it's going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to be uncomfortable in the near future. But we cannot allow ourselves to get, too caught up in that, or to, again, it's the same thing here. Maybe they're going to have to take on more of the financial burden. They're going to feel imbalanced. They're going to feel that they're being left out in the cold. They don't see that you're not being selfish. This is all about them. This is all about you. Okay? And we really, really need to accept that change can be hard on, and it's not so much on us, it's about others. We cannot get lost in how their perception of the change that is evolving within us, we can't take on that energy, because why even bother then? Rather, we need to accept that they are on their own journey, and that, I don't want to say collateral damage, but they're going to find their own way. We have to accept that they also have their own higher selves and their own souls that have already provided for them in this lifetime. And so they're going to be okay. This is going to allow them to grow. This is going to allow them to expand. So the overall message here in the next week or so is saying, take the next step. Do you. Don't get caught up in what you feel like you should be doing, but rather to continue to focus. All right, so I guess I will leave it there for the time being. I wish you nothing but the best for this weekend. Love and light.